Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Hello, all.
What's up, Hayden?
Good to be back.
All right, bro. So, Gad, we're talking about Last Jedi. So, how would you fix Star Wars Episode 9?
Well, I can't fix The Last Jedi, but I maybe can do something with 9 to wrap it all up. So I'm thinking is like, I've always had the philosophy of you could easily redeem Kylo Ren because you redeemed Anakin after he slaughtered children. Mm-hmm. And you make the audience cry if he comes out and goes, my father pulled the saber towards himself to sacrifice himself for me. That will definitely happen. Come on. He will so say that Han pulled the saber towards himself.
Right.
And he never killed Leia. The only person Kylo Ren's killed has been the old guy in Force Awakens, right? And Snoke.
And who was that? Yeah.
Yeah, there's only 2 people he's actually killed besides Han Solo.
I still think that was a puppet.
Could be. So what I was thinking, right, with the plot is, I think it's going to be like a syndicate of sorts. Like there's going to be rebels like undercover, like all talking through sort of virtual computers or undercover. They're all going to have a big meeting. I think the way you do it is like Naboo, maybe, is the planet you go to where they all kind of meet up for the big plan. There's got to be 2 super weapons this time. Now, your immediate reaction is going to laugh. However, there was, and I'm pretty certain about this, there was a deleted plot in The Force Awakens that was shot with Carrie Fisher, which is what they're going to use all of her footage from, was this deleted subplot of the Resistance having a weapon called the Catapult, which was the Resistance own super weapon. So I think they're going, because they only have certain footage they can use of Carrie Fisher. So if they have this footage, they're going to have to use it because that's all they've got. So if they bring the plot back of the Catapult, which was their super weapon, meets a First Order super weapon, which will be just nothing. It'll be in like 2 or 3 scenes, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
It'll come back into play like in the 3rd act when the big shit goes down. But the point is that I think what his plot should have been in Episode 8, he should have saved the children who were stormtroopers, who were captive of stormtroopers. That's what his plot should have been. He should have rescued all of the children who were abducted by the First Order.
Right.
Or so in this case, I was thinking of, if we're doing the thing of Star Wars, you know, the mirror theory, how everything's poetic and it kind of repeats itself.
Yeah.
Finn should find a way to reprogram the stormtroopers, and in a moment he hits them all. Like you know how it was reconditioning that he had to get done in Force Awakens? There's conditioning. They program some sort of mind control into the stormtroopers' heads to make them obey. Finn finds a way to counter that, and in that very moment, there's a reverse Order 66 where all the troopers turn on the generals. And that's like this epic moment in the film near the end, and it's Finn's heroic moment because that's what his character arc is. He's gone from, first movie was didn't want to be in the First Order, second one was didn't want to be in the Resistance, still was. This third one should be he basically fixes everything and saves everyone. So the reverse Order 66. Now, we know Matt Smith's in the movie. I hadn't talked to you about that. Matt Smith's in the movie.
Hey. Is he evil?
No, I don't know.
Easy.
Could he be Luke Skywalker's son or something? We don't know.
Matt Smith?
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
The son of Sky. It's possible.
Oh, my God. You imagine this guy come out of nowhere? They're like, who the hell is he?
Could you imagine if Luke's son saved the day? But it's a bit too late because of character development. But, like...
He hid him away. Like, he didn't want nobody to know he existed, so he just...
Well, I don't think it'd be as simple as, like, when Luke gave up on everything, he just said to his wife and son, I'm leaving. Like, that shit happened for 35 years is a long time. Think of your life the last 35 years. You can't put that into 10 minutes of screen time.
Right.
Like, it's a lot of shit. And, like, basically Luke's plot only resolved around his Jedi days. It wasn't about his personal life or anything. It was only that Jedi stuff led into that. So
he could have had a wife and a kid, and then all of a sudden that thing happened with his nephew, and he sort of like left them in the background, never talked about his wife and his kid to even Leia or anybody, and just boom, got caught up in the stuff. What the hell is that? Freaking flies in here. Got caught up in the moment, and then it was just never talked about. Like he turned off the Force so that way nobody could really find out about his kid and his wife.
Or even if they're there, they've been there the whole time. His son was the Knight of Ren who disappeared with Kylo.
Maybe.
even. I do think Matt Smith has to be a Knight of Ren, though.
Yeah.
Or First Order General. He has that First Order General vibe about him.
I know.
Very evil in charge. I do think Hux is going to either turn good or betray Kylo Ren in the worst way possible.
He'll probably betray him.
Yeah. Well, we know Kylo Ren basically. They're going to find out that he killed Snoke. The First Order is going to go, oh shit, this guy can't be trusted. They're all going to turn on him. He's going to be left with no one at all. And in the last moment, you're going to see Luke and Han's ghost come to him, and Anakin. Have you seen Deathly Hallows, Harry Potter?
Yes.
You know the scene where Harry goes into the forest, all the ghosts are there saying, it's okay, we're with you, we're by your side? I think the same thing's going to happen to Kylo Ren just before the final battle. And it's going to be Luke, Han, they're all going to say, we forgive you, it's okay. And him and Rey are going to team up, they're going to hook up, they're going to, I definitely think they were hinting at a relationship in that last movie. It was just too sexual.
That's crazy, though, that they would do that, though.
That little heart.
Why would they put them in a relationship?
I don't think so, because if the story of Star Wars has always been about redemption and everything, it's always about love. There's always a relationship in every trilogy. And I heard a good theory about they were talking about mythology and Joseph Campbell. Like, they were saying how, this is a YouTuber called The Wayward Jedi. He was talking about how everything that Rey does symbolizes the Bodhisattva in Buddhism. And if you've seen the visual image of Rey in The Last Jedi, how she falls into the cave and there's that mirror with the rose.
See, Scott had a good idea that maybe she never left the cave, the cave, and that she's just, this whole thing doesn't count. Like, none of this shit. It's
possible, but I don't see...
Luke is really on the other side of the island, and that's just an evil bastard or some shit.
The only reason I don't see them doing any retconning is because either way, like, they could bring Luke back, but at the end of the day, what's the point? Because it is the last movie. You literally have 2 hours to wrap everything up.
I honestly would think it would be worth it to retcon Last Jedi because you want to fix it before it ends.
What also would be interesting to go...
So, yes, I would bring Luke Skywalker back to life. In fact, I would say he never even died.
Or you bring him back like Gandalf, Luke the White, and he lands on the battlefield.
Well, I would say that guy is a plant. That's not even really Luke. Because he doesn't...
That dark...
Luke had him cloned, and he's just on the island. And meanwhile, Luke's on the other side of the island or something, on the other side of the world or something. And it was just like a thing to lure anybody in or whatever. And the guy actually believes he's Luke. But he's lost because he's not completely Luke. He's like a clone. That would explain a lot of things. Yeah.
It would be cool. The only problem with it as well is that you've got literally, 2 hours to wrap up Rey, Poe, Kylo Ren.
But see, the thing, I heard that they want to make it 2 movies now, not 1.
I don't know if I buy it.
Another interesting way they could go is they're all fighting for, they always, somehow Ren and the one gal switch places as who's good and who's evil. They've never gone.
You know what? It's only 1 movie. They're going to turn her in 1 movie?
No, they could hint it. Mind you. So that way when they come back with their next triplet, their next trio, she's the one that's turned and he's the one that's turned to the light side.
I don't think Kylo Ren's going to die, and I don't think she's going to die in this one.
I think I would put my money on it. Like, I'd put every.
I would hope that Snoke is still alive.
Like I said, I'm still.
And Matt Smith is.
That was a puppet he was using. I don't know whether it was Ren who was using them as a puppet, or it was actually Snoke using manipulating that as a puppet to see how far along Ren would actually go to prove himself.
Yeah. I almost see a plot line of sorts where him and her, it's a trap. The First Order have trapped him and her together, and they're in the same position where they're both stuck there. What are we going to do? They're on some water planet. This is this weird visualization.
Well, they're talking about a jungle planet like friggin' Ewok.
Yeah.
Endor.
But I'm thinking like Rey and Kylo are stuck on this
like blue dudes next to plug themselves into trees.
No, but you got these two, right? Rey and Kylo, they've trapped them. Like, say Kerry Russell, she says she's Rey's mum, but it's just a plant by the First Order. They've just planted her to try to get her to reel her in. Kylo doesn't know this either, though. And they've reeled them together. They're stuck on this planet. They're about to die. No, and then the water raises to the sky like this huge wave, and then it parts, and this guy walks out, and it's Luke with white lightsaber. Like, just the ultimate godlike figure walks out of the water, and the audience just cries, it's freaking out. Oh my god.
Well, what did the real Luke have, the green lightsaber?
Well, it was there in his hut.
The green one?
Yeah, you can see it in the background of the hill. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to think like the most logical end of like, if we take Luke out of the story, I'm just trying to think of what we can do with what we've got. So with, like I said, with the two weapons, I'm figuring they collide, something bad happens, and everyone...
You wouldn't do anything with time travel now that they established they could do time.
Never touched
Never.
it.
You wouldn't even have like Luke save fucking Han or some shit after he fell or something.
There's no point, because if it's the end of the story, what's the point of bringing a 75-year-old back for one movie? You know what I mean? That
would be a good point to bring him back. Like, you know, bring everybody back. Last one. Yeah,
but like, the thing is, as well as like Obi-Wan and all that were dead by episode 6, if you know what I mean. So like, it makes sense that they all would be dead by 9, and it sucks. I'll admit. I do feel like we got robbed of 3 movies. I feel like there's like should have been a trilogy before this. Like, this feels like 10, 11, 12 for some reason. I know. You know what I mean? It feels like the gap, there's enough room, like in the middle, 15 years after Return of the Jedi.
I agree. They should have been.
Unless they're going to do the series, another series, whether it's cartoon or...
Oh, I don't care about that. I never counted that shit as canon. Now they count everything as canon. I never counted any of that stuff as canon, but, you know.
But I'm kind of like, I'm moving on now from this end of this story. Because I'm like, I want to see other stuff now. Solo was good. I'm pretty keen to see, like, the Old Republic. I'm keen to see all that.
But they scrapped everything because of Solo, though.
Yeah. Obi-Wan.
Everything got scrapped.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to do with 10, 11, and 12. But that right now, that's on hold, too.
Well, it says that if they're following George's plan, and I hope they do, this should be the end of the story of the episodes. There should be no more episodes after this if they're following George's plan.
But they're not going to do that. They're going to do a 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not the end of the Skywalkers, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's just bullshit.
Kylo Ren and Rey will have a child.
Right.
It has to be them.
But I don't see. That's the thing. I don't like that pairing, though.
No, I know. But my only reasoning is she's the main character of the Skywalker trilogy this time. This is still a Skywalker trilogy, and she's the main character, meaning she has to be connected to the family somewhere or other. So if she ends up marrying the current Skywalker, then she counts as a member of that family.
See, but I don't. My thing is that, one, they should not have a romance together. I don't like that at all. Can't they have a connection that they're fucking like cousins or some shit? Like that she...
it'd be creepy though, wouldn't it? Like she like grabbed his thigh when they were fighting and stuff.
Yeah, but look at Luke and friggin' Leia kissed and lips.
And that was weird. That was weird.
Yeah. Awkward when you learn about that.
They kiss lips. Oh, that'd be a good idea if they're brother and sister. Oh, it's like, okay.
Yeah. I do think though, I think JJ will change who her parents are.
Yeah, definitely. She has... Her parents are important.
There's no way... I think maybe Kerry Russell could be her mum, to be honest. Or Richard E. Grant could be her dad. Because their parents are going to be in the movie. It's the last movie. They're going to be in there in a flashback or something. It has to come into the plot.
But they would have to show that they are important, though. They're not just shitty.
No, they're going to be important. Like, if her parents were drunks, like Kylo said.
Can you imagine if they did a...
Well, according to the evil, they're not...
Side thing, and...
See, according to the evil, they're not important. Like, Kylo Ren would think that they're not important, but to the Resistance, they could be huge.
But if what you're saying is right, if they actually are not important, it doesn't matter because if her granddad was someone important, that's different.
Yes.
But if Obi-Wan had a daughter who was a drunk, that still means her parents were no ones, but it doesn't mean her grandparents weren't nobodies.
I honestly think in a family, but she's connected to that lightsaber, though. That's the whole thing. It's like there's got to be some type of connection.
Yeah, I always thought that. The moment I saw Force Awakens, like, why would Anakin and Luke saber connect to this girl who's nobody?
So remember they had that theory that she was like the reincarnation of like Anakin, and I'm like, well, that sucks. Remember I wasn't that happy about that? People were talking shit.
The one I'm reading now is that it was Padme. She's the reincarnation of
Padme.
Yes, because what I was saying before, I was saying about the mirror thing, right? The Bodhisattva in Buddhism is a woman who can go to heaven, but she keeps being reborn because she has unfinished business. And in Buddhism, it says that that character has no flaws. She's a flawless character with ultimate power who chooses to keep suffering through pain to help her loved ones. So the theory was that Padme brought herself back because Rey's ultimately powerful. She has no flaws. She just wants to help people. And the mirror scene, that's literally, if you search Bodhisattva, the Bodhisattva is a woman who's just got a mirror of holes behind her, a hall of mirrors of just her. It's the same image of Rey. It's literally spelling it out for you. So my theory was Padme's come back because she wants to save Kylo Ren, who is basically the metaphor of Anakin now, to finally save her family so that they can all move on from all this shit forever. And if that's the case, it's more, you don't even need to say it. It's just more of a symbolic thing, just for the audience to go, oh, it wraps up Padme's story, because Padme's not, because if you actually look at it, the first story of the whole thing with the Gungans and that, and the conflict on Naboo, if you wrap that up here, you go to Naboo again, and it's Rey on Naboo like Padme.
I don't know, but that'd be freaky though. That
Kylo, everything gets resolved.
Would it be freaky though if that's Padme? That's technically her grandson.
No, but they don't have to hook up then. If you say it's Padme, then necessarily they don't have to hook up. She has to be connected to the story somehow. So if that's the case, and she's there to basically finish everything off, then it also makes sense. Like, someone made this great video. It was like, do you remember? You know when Luke says to Leia, "Do you remember your mother?" And it shows Leia when she's crying the first time Rey sees Leia, how they look at each other and just hug. It's like, well, they actually showed the dialogue of her saying, "Do you remember your mum?" And she goes, "No, I just remember images." And it kind of showed, like, it's interesting how Leia looked at Rey like she knew her, as if it was an image. And Luke, when he saw Rey the first time, he's kind of looking at her a bit odd. It's almost like this spiritual.
Something like I remember her eyes or something like that.
Yeah, they just look at that girl and there's just a vibe, like we know her from somewhere. And like Rey is ultimately the embodiment of the Force sending one last kind of hand to help the Skywalkers once and for all. And I only think, if you read into it though, go look into Bodhisattva and the images and whatnot, and you'll be, I think, can we pull up just a Google image on here?
Of what?
Type in the Bodhisattva. I'll Facebook you the photo.
Okay.
Get the exact photo that I'm talking about. See if I can find it, because I got some low resolution ones sometimes. So
We'll just type in the name and I'll look for it maybe. What do you got?
All right.
What is it called?
Bodhisattva.
Spell it.
BOD.
Yeah.
I'll send you this photo. I've got it now anyway.
You got it? Okay.
I'll Google it. I'll send it to you. Copy image link. Yeah, here we go. Sending it to you now. Also, I want to jump onto the topic of Doctor Who at some point, as I haven't been on it for a while.
This is a YouTube video, though.
Yeah, can you get the screenshot of the actual thumbnail?
Oh.
Just that image in the thumbnail is the image that I was trying to get at.
Okay, wait.
But there's a really good YouTube channel. He's called The Wayward Jedi, and he basically goes through Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, which you know that the original Star Wars was based off on the prequels. So George wrote everything based on that, and it was saying that this trilogy so far, the echoes in there.
What's the picture?
Where is it? Type in Rey at the end of it.
REY?
You can see that, her with the arms. If there's the one in the center of her with lots of arms, that's similar. But if you look at this photo here on the left, with the girl sitting with multiple versions of her behind her.
Wait. This one?
That one there. See all the hands? It's showing her all of her lives, how she keeps resurrected and resurrected over and over and over again.
Okay.
And that one back there, though, with the black and white image, which was a thumbnail from one of the YouTube videos, that one more or less is like identical to the shot of Rey in the cave. And there's always symbolic meanings in Star Wars, especially Empire when Luke hits off Vader's head. You see the mask explode and it's him inside. So I think that's what Rian Johnson was, his way of doing that. I also think if they wrap up 9 properly and they kind of do some really creative things, it could also improve The Last Jedi.
Right.
It could make you enjoy it more, knowing that, because you know there's a resolution to it later. So when you watch
they ruined
Jedi,
Last Jedi as far as I'm concerned, so I'm not really happy with it all. That's terrible.
That's funny.
I'm not happy with the whole movie at all. I would just wipe it. Like it's a bad dream that Luke was having after the breast milk or something, and it's just, you know, I mean, you got to think about it for a second. Everything he did in that movie was uncharacteristic of Luke.
Which means he's got to be a fake Luke.
And you can't turn off the Force, though. It doesn't work like that. Like, you can't just turn it off like a light switch. And him doing all those abilities, like leaping without using the Force power, like skills like that, he's using the Force, but you can't tell me he just turns off the Force. That's not Luke. And that's what they should establish, that it's just a clone depression of whatever. And that the real Luke is a prisoner of Snoke or something. You know, he thinks he's Luke. I mean, he's so depressed he couldn't leave the islands, but it's not Luke. The real Luke would be there in a second. But in other words, it's a clone maybe, but the real Luke is a captive of Snoke because he couldn't get away. Like when Kylo went to attack him, Snoke picked him up and imprisoned him.
Yeah.
And he could be in carbonite. He could be in, they could have a thing where there's Lucas in carbonite. And you're like, oh my God, that's why he hasn't been in the movie. This is really Luke Skywalker. Why wouldn't you reuse? They could reissue that, and you could bring Boba Fett back in it. You could do it all. Because originally that was supposed to be meant for Luke. The plan. What if the plan was always that, and now it carries over with Snoke because he knew of what the Emperor wanted to do to have Luke in carbonite for a purpose. They cloned him. They whatever, and that would be great if you start episode 9 with a Luke in carbonite.
How about this? Snoke does have him, but Luke managed to somehow send out, let's say, a Force ghost.
Well, that's why Luke sent out the maps.
Yeah.
But the maps go to the clone, though.
Yeah.
So they figured that maybe she would figure it out, that that's not really Luke.
That's right.
But she doesn't figure it out because she's too worried about Kylo Ren without a shirt on. And that's the problem. Okay? That's the problem. That's the problem. So...
too sexy for my lightsaber.
Right, and we need to have Boba Fett, clone of Boba Fett or whatever, a young Boba Fett, just protecting the body in carbonite, basically.
And that mirrored area where Rey was could have been where they stowed it temporarily, but Rey showed up too early.
Right. And Yoda, they lie, so Yoda was just lying to the clone. Because if you tell somebody they're a clone, if you tell somebody they're a clone, they're going to freak out, and then all of a sudden Snoke's going to know about it. So so Yoda just didn't want anybody's hands on the books anyway, so just whatever.
Yeah.
Made it like he destroyed them, but he didn't destroy them. Yeah. In fact, they could even do something
in that mirrored area, thinking that it's going to either conceal Luke.
Right.
But Luke's using the Force in order to at least put his clone up in that area.
Too bad they couldn't do a thing where, yes, she was trained, but she was trained by Yoda and Ben Kenobi, and they just told her not to say anything to that Luke there.
Yeah, they could have easily done
like just because he's connected to Snoke. I mean, you can't have every planet be like Dagobah. See, that's what I didn't like.
No,
I was like, oh, now you're copying off of Empire.
And like I said, and like we've all suspected, all they're doing is they're creating a new. They're just redoing the New Hope through Empire Strikes Back.
I just don't want them to copy the next movie off of Endor.
That's what they're doing.
I don't want like a direct connection to that. I want some originality.
Yeah, I don't want Endor.
They're going to do something like it, and that's what bothers me.
I'm fine with Naboo because Naboo's a kind of jungle planet, but it connects to episode 1. This is meant to be the last movie, and it connects to the first movie.
See, I want. You know what I'd be okay with? I'd be okay with people getting their minds blown. What if, we've seen Darth Vader, he's on the volcano planet, right, and all that stuff, right? What if, like, he just did his own stuff? Because at one point, he was going to overtake the Emperor, right? Somebody's doing something with clones. They didn't just disregard whatever, because Kylo Ren's like, why don't we just clone? Like, whatever. So what if, like, Darth Vader, before he died, had this grand scheme to have his own empire overthrow Palpatine, and he had, like, all these clones made of all these different things, and of course the clone is not as good as the original.
Brazil type of thing.
But, like, what if, like, Finn's dad is actually Mace Windu? Like, he was broken, he had a kid, and the only reason that he escaped the programming is because he's force sensitive because of Mace Windu. Like maybe you explain that he's, or maybe he's
found, Mace was found, and during the caring, he pretty much fell in love with his character.
Maybe Snoke took him because Snoke is like, oh, he's gonna be, this is Mace Windu's kid, and Mace Windu got away, and the kid was like a teenager or something, or adult, and he just...
Mace would have been at least 80, though, when he had Finn.
Yeah, but, we're talking about aliens. I mean, they're not, like, aging like humans. I mean, Luke Skywalker is, like, how old, leaping around with a stick. I mean, literally, this is not Earth. I mean, they're not human. I don't know. I mean, Leia's being, like, Superman and shit. I mean, who knows? It's, like, weird. I mean, I don't know.
If Mace was going to come back, he should have been the character of Saw Gerrera in Rogue One. That should have been Mace Windu. He went off, he helped the rebellion.
He could have disguised could have cloaked his name, so that way people...
He had a robotic arm, robotic leg, he had a weird eye.
You know what I would do? I would do, because everybody's like, oh, the book's canon, this is... Forget about that crap. Billie Lourd is Leia's daughter, flat out. You could make it that Han... Like, when he left, she was pregnant. She had, Billie Lourd is actually her daughter, regardless in real life in the Star Wars canon. She falls in love with Poe Dameron, okay? And then you have that connection with those two, all right? Finn gets with Rey. Kylo Ren just, you bring in some other character. Maybe Matt Smith is Luke Skywalker's, like, son, and you bring Mara Jane into it and everything. But Kylo Ren, there's, like, something else going on, and you need to have something like that. You need to bring Boba Fett back into it. Captain Phasma just sucks ass. So, I mean, maybe bring her in and again for one last hurrah. But...
No, not again. We can't have her again. She already died.
No, I mean, she's just...
One more time, man.
It'll be so silly.
One more time, man.
She's not even a good character, though. She's
doesn't matter. But you know what? Make her be something big.
Yeah. It's too late. They could have done that in the last movie.
It is. The thing is, it's too late to do too much stuff because we already know that in this 2 hours that we're going to get, JJ always has it shorter than 2.5 as well. JJ always...
You know what they could do? They could do some crazy shit that she's responsible for Leia dying. Captain Phasma.
But like at the same time, the whole movie then will just be he's the secret son of this, and it won't actually be the story. It'll just be revealing.
I honestly think they should do it.
Like, you know what I mean? It'll just
listen to my reasoning. I think they should get away from the sequel nonsense with the trilogy. And I think they should have this in 2 parts because Star Wars X would be the final friggin' one. Star Wars 10, Episode 10 would be the final Skywalker thing. Just imagine the marketing of that. Star Wars friggin' X. Boom.
I've always thought Star Wars X. I've always thought that would be cool.
That was what you need to do, J.J. Abrams. You make 2 freaking epic movies. You throw the kitchen sink in there. Boba Fett, bounty hunters, freaking real Luke, Obi-Wan, Yoda.
Episode 9 ends with Luke returning from the dead at the end of 9.
Not only do you... Right. Knights of Ren and friggin' Sith. Man. Just Sith that ain't even done either. What the hell was friggin' Darth Maul doing and shit? I mean, there's like a whole bunch of shit you could do. Because
I'm up for 2 movies. I'm up for 2 movies.
Yeah. I always envisioned when Darth Sidious was talking to Darth Maul, that fucking whole place was like Sith fucking land and shit. Like everybody around was motherfucking Sith. Like just the whole fucking thing. Whole community and everything. You imagine they're all fucking hidden away. Just they make their own rules because they're not going with the rule of fucking 2. Screw that shit because the Jedi's always worried about the rule of 2. No, they threw that shit out the window. Okay, it's back to fucking olden times. The whole fucking area is Sith. So when Knights of Ren come in, they think they're all fucking that. Sith come in, done. Fucking like, oh shit, Empire's back because they can't use the name Empire because fucking Fox has the rights to it. So now that they got the fucking rights back, boom, there's the fucking Empire.
We've gone into a 17-part movie.
I don't fuck. Listen, Peter Capaldi's a general with the fucking Empire. Motherfucker comes back, fucking chips and shit. Oh shit, fucking crazy ass Sith and fucking everything. What do? Oh, we're fucked. That's like a thing, man. Crazy shit. We need to knock everybody off their ass and not know what the fuck's gonna happen. That's what you need to do. This shit was like Depression 101. Noah's Ark became fucking Chewie's Ark with fucking Millennium Falcon. Friggin' things, porgs are having nests and having babies on that shit. It's like so Depression, no water, no this. It was like Walking Dead. There's crap.
This one.
No, you need to fix this shit, man. There's a whole purpose to this shit. You need to fix it. They need to
get the audience excited again. Because, like, even though I liked Last Jedi, I admit that there needs to be a unanimous excitement again. Like, Last Jedi didn't have enough crowd-pleasing moments like it should have. There should have been a moment where Luke grabbed the green lightsaber and lit it up and everyone screamed in the audience and freaked out. Like, that was what I was waiting for. Like, R2 to pop the saber out, Luke to catch it again, and he turns it on, and it's like the greatest moment of cinema history.
They need to have so many mysteries in the next one that you're like, oh, when you find out like Leia dies and her real daughter's like Billy Lord, and it's like, oh shit, like the whole fucking Resistance kept that quiet, and then all of a sudden like Snoke is still alive, he wants fucking her because she's Force sensitive. Poe Dameron has to protect her and shit. That'd be fucking amazing, amazing shit.
Like a 12-hour movie.
I don't give a shit, man. Get them ready for the next 3. I don't care, man. Billy Lord needs to be like the main shit in there. That's it. Get her in there, man. Billy Lord, Matt Smith. Oh, man. Matt Smith could either be Luke's son, or he could be fucking Snoke himself. Like just in a new body. Fucking people
That'll be weird, but it'll be cool.
I don't care, man. I want to see Matt Smith kick people's asses.
He does have a big role. Apparently it's a key role in the film.
He's Snoke. He's going to grab...
That's a big call. That is a big call.
He's going to grab Kylo Ren by the fucking throats.
Why don't you just get Andy Serkis to be Snoke? Because he's a good actor.
No. Man, Matt Smith has to be a fucking good actor besides Doctor Who. You got to make him a good actor.
You know Snoke has a second apprentice, right?
Well, maybe that's the apprentice.
No, in canon, it's official. Snoke had 2 apprentices.
Oh, 2? Okay.
Yeah, he had 2 apprentices. So my theory is that Matt Smith might actually be the second apprentice.
Who's the first apprentice?
Kylo Ren.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. All right. There's another apprentice out there, but I'd see... I've always wondered... We've never got this in any of the saga movies. I thought maybe the last one we were going to get this. Since I was a kid, I always thought that the last movie we'd get an army of Jedi versus an army of Sith.
That would be great.
Oh, that would be great.
It's too late, because how the fuck is Rey going to train...
She ain't trained anybody. How could she? First of all, she's not trained herself. She doesn't have a title.
She had 2 hours up on that rock. Thank you.
I feel, you know what? It doesn't compute with me. The guy that killed Han Solo, she should not be attracted to him in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, I don't want to hear that. She's still.
Come on, he did say that he would help him, and he
listen,
did let.
She still shouldn't be attracted to him. She shouldn't.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
If she killed Han Solo, would I still be attracted to her? Yes, definitely.
She didn't, though. But still, I know Chewbacca. They need to have a Chewbacca Kylo Ren moment.
We need a Lando Chewbacca moment.
Well, we're gonna have that. That's why they brought him in for reshoots.
Yeah.
Chewbacca. Because they're doing that.
I think that article's bullshit, because how the fuck were they filming Episode 9 stuff during Solo when the script wasn't even finished?
No, they were filming it now.
No,
Chewie had such a small part in episode 9, they decided to change that shit.
No, but what the article said about that was that he filmed most of his scenes during Solo's filming. That's what the article said, and it was weird. So I was thinking, maybe this guy's just made an article up or something.
Well, they're not done filming until February, though.
Yeah, but the only evidence that they had that he was doing reshoots was because he had to cancel a convention appearance. That's it.
Oh, all right.
Like,
so, I mean, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing saying that this convention was the reason he didn't have a big role.
He should have a big role in the next one, though.
Mark Hamill doesn't have a big role because he's in Montreal or whatever filming some History Channel show right now.
Well, that's fucking ridiculous.
He just signed on to it last week, and he just went to Montreal, and he's filming a whole season, so he's probably not going to be done till December.
Well, he should have a big role in Star Wars. It should be. All right, we got a minute left. All right, thank you, Hayden.
Okay.
Thank you, Scott. Take care. Bye for now.